2026 is the year women must build life by design, not by default. What does that mean, Shelly-Ann?
Well, for me and my community, it really is about moving away from just dealing with what or accepting what society or what history has taught us to accept, and moving more into designing what we desire. What does life look like for us? What is it? What makes us sparkle every morning? So we're no longer just going based on what is handed, but we're moving forward, moving towards what we really desire.
I could only imagine how dynamic that could be, because when we talk about so many different countries, we're talking different cultures, we're talking different best practices, if you will. So what patterns are you seeing? Let's focus on the Caribbean region to start at least, that we can continue to utilize that are going to help us towards that end, designing that is.
As you said, let's stay with the Caribbean, right? And those in the diaspora, because we don't lose our Caribbeanness because we're somewhere else, right? We take it with us.
For sure.
We have to remember that being Caribbean is like a competitive edge. We understand culture. We understand creativity and innovation. We have to think about where we came from. Where there is lack, we create. Where there is a void, we fill that void. Where there is opportunity, we step in. And we've not started doing that now. We've been seeing that happening with the generations before. Think about your grandmother, your great-grandmother. There's been susus, there have been side hustles in our schools. There's a line of entrepreneurs selling us, you know, tamarind ball, tulum, all of those lovely things. So we saw entrepreneurship, but it didn't sink in because we were in the education system. So I tell women, you know, look at your Caribbeanness, merge it with global best practices, and then step out and shine and speak loudly and boldly and confidently.
I have parts of that now. I can speak loudly. We're going to step out and shine. And particularly when you talk about the 2026 goal, we had to get over the burnout and the sense of being overwhelmed. So first 3 things you're going to recommend to women to mentally and emotionally reset for 2026.
Prioritize yourself.
Oof, the gospel.
We have been trained to nurture, to take care of everyone else, but we don't focus inwardly. We take care of the business, we take care of clients, we take care of the husband, we take care of the children, we take care of parents and friends, but we keep pushing our well-being to the side. That is detrimental. So I would tell women, it doesn't really matter if you're an entrepreneur or not. Prioritize yourself. But as entrepreneurs, I would say delegate. What doesn't serve you or doesn't excite you or drain you, audit and release. You don't need to carry burdens unnecessarily.
That's a big one, because as an entrepreneur, that's part of almost the theme. Everybody talks about how you have to wear all these hats.
You don't.
So that possibility or that process of delegating has a lot to unpack to it.
Well, as an entrepreneur, you would have gone through, I started in 1999, so I came from the ground up. So I don't regret having to go through all the trials, because that has equipped me and empowered me to be an effective leader today. So what I have done is I looked at all of the pieces, I paid attention to the struggles, and what I do is I counter it with strategic action. And you have to train people to show up how you want them to show up, to understand the culture of your business, the outcome and the purpose and the mission of your business. You know, and sometimes they come back at me, Shelly, I was on television in Belize, and my publicist said to me, you look a little bit tired. You handled yourself, but you look a little bit tired. They're paying attention to me and they're giving it back to me because I say to them, take care of yourself first. You know, so they check me sometimes, so train them. When you train them and they accept your culture and way of being in your business, it's easy to hand over stuff because they will live it.
Right. You can trust them because they know the method. I get it. So that's some easy ones that we can get in there. But one of the pillars that you stand on includes femininity. And that softness is sometimes lost when you're trying to be the boss lady. We kind of give one for the other. How do we balance that? How do we maintain that, particularly in the new year?
This is natural for me. I never walk in a room trying to be masculine. In my 25 years as an entrepreneur, I have lots of men around me. And they are specialists in their own regard. I respect them for who they are and what they bring to the table. And I show up in my feminine essence, but I also am very much aware that I am the leader. I am steering the ship, but I don't have to take on masculine energy to do that. I tell women all the time, your femininity is not a softness that people can walk over. It is just a magic that we bring to the room. It's a grace that we bring to the room. Men don't want to fight with women with masculine energy. They want us to be feminine. They want to interact with us based on who we are in our natural state. So don't worry about putting on masculine energy. Focus on your intelligence, your creativity, what you bring to the table, and your position. I am the leader. I don't have to assert that by being masculine. I walk in the room and everybody knows I'm the leader.
That mean.
I don't have to drive that home. It's a known fact.
Fingers crossed. I think you also are known for talking about community is currency.
Yeah.
And while I may have my notions of that, how would you break that down?
I would say that community is one of the #1 reasons I have had the type of success that I've had. I guess you all would have known the story. I took $40 and flipped it into 7 figures. It is not about the $40. It's about the mindset. It's about the network. It's about the access, the discipline, the resilience, and also your femininity, because it works. Right? It works.
He breaks up now. He's like, wait, what?
Yeah. $40 into 7 figures. But I took 4 years to do that. Today I help women do that in 12 months. Sometimes less. Yes.
We were talking before and I was asking how, and there are a number of ways that we can do that.
Yes.
So you are going to be making this available to persons through multiple platforms, yeah?
Yeah. I have coaching, group coaching, one-on-one coaching, VIP days. I have mini courses that they can use, and I have fun on TikTok teaching series for free. So people meet me there, and we move off of TikTok where I teach and mentor. Right now we're doing 8 days of lunch and learns, but I'm normally on the evenings where I'm teaching full series. So people can meet me there at simply Shelly TNT. All right, and they can get to know me a little bit better and, experience the feminine method. It's Live by Design, the feminine method. Okay. Yeah.
A key component that will definitely talk about visibility and confidence, because those are key components of your actual delivery. What practical steps can they take to build a brand that resonates beyond their island?
We'll go back to community. Community spreads us. Right? It helps us to expand. There's a whole chapter in this book that I'm bringing out soon. The 20 insights of steps and strategies that I've learned over my 25 years, right? The Entrepreneurial Guide to Success. And inside of that book, I put an entire chapter on the importance of community. Community opens doors for you that you would have never walked through. People are talking about you in rooms that you've never entered. They defend you. People in different countries are talking about me. I was telling my husband on the way here that there is a news paper in Canada that's asking questions about having me featured. I'm not there. They're talking to other people, and then it gets back to me.
Good kind of talk about you.
Yeah. So, but how does that happen? You build a healthy community, a loving, compassionate, empathetic community, and you lead with compassion. You don't lead with a strong arm. I always tell people, you don't have to bully people to follow you.
You shouldn't.
You show up. You show up with your authentic self. You have your signature message, your signature offer, and your signature story. And you tell that as often as you can, in the most confident way as you can, with a sincere desire to help others, and use the digital platforms. The moment you start using the digital platforms, I get so excited because I'm also a digital marketing specialist.
Yeah, of course.
The moment you start using the digital platforms and technology, you've just stepped on a global stage.
For sure.
And that's how you start to penetrate outside of the island, because now people are paying attention. People are hearing the voice outside of your island. And again, that's where you take your Caribbeanness and merge it with global best practices and show up every single time.
It's why you recently won the Caribbean Posh Entrepreneur Excellence Award. And now that particular award carries regional recognition, and as you were mentioning earlier, diaspora as well.
Yes.
So I imagine that would have been quite the accomplishment for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then we also had the IWA magazine in Africa, where you were mentioned as well, gracing the cover there. So that we're hearing and seeing the fruits of the labor, but specifically these we attribute to your use of the digital space.
Yes.
Any best practices there that you want to share with us this morning?
Yes, understand the space. Every time I speak to women in particular about digital marketing and using that digital space, most people tell me, well, I posted and nobody responded. I posted and I got 2 likes or 3 likes. posting is not a strategy.
Right.
It's a step.
Say it again.
You have to understand the platforms. You have to understand that these platforms are not here to make you great or to make you wealthy. You have to work the platforms based on what the platform is desiring of you.
Right.
You give to them what they want, they will give you what you desire. These platforms are here to make money, to make themselves money because they are businesses, right? You have to work within the ecosystem and the best practices that they have set for us. Like on TikTok, I tell people, why do some people, like I had 2.7 million views on my Confused to Clarity series, and people are like, well, how did you accomplish that? I gave the AI what the AI wanted. It's not a person sitting there monitoring you. It's an AI. The AI has elements that it's looking for. You put those elements out, the AI picks up on you, hey, Shelly's doing XYZ, and it starts pushing you out.
Right.
And pay for visibility when you're not getting it organically to build some traction. And make sure
Oof, she emphasized this one.
you are not providing fluff and surface information. People are tired of it. They are turned off by it. They roll their eyes at it. If you are going to show up and you want to penetrate global market, you better bring substance to that space. You know, I'm so serious about that. You saw me just pause, right?
She literally gathered herself before she delivered with the sweetest smile.
Stop it. Stop bringing fluff. Stop showing up and speaking about things you don't know. Start speaking about things that you understand, that's been tested and tried. I've been in business for 25 years,
Right.
30 plus countries, 14 markets. Why am I showing up and teaching fluff? I teach from a place of experience. Yes, there are best practices, but I always tell the community, best practice is not always in my best interest. You have to learn to pivot and then teach your philosophy. So stop with all the fluff. People are tired of it, and that's why you're not getting the impact that you want.
I just always say that over and over and over for the next 6 years because definitely felt the impact of that, especially on the digital spaces.
Yes.
And I think it's a big distinction that helps to actually make your content valuable. It's a
Yes.
no-brainer, yet here we are.
Yeah.
I think we're getting through a lot of what your movement is about.
Yeah.
And I think that would give us some idea of some of the big mistakes that women make as well, specifically when trying to scale their business. Now, the term scale your business probably needs some clarity too, because I think people also misinterpret what it means to scale your business. So before we even get into the big mistakes, first of all, what does that entail?
Well, I would say when we are scaling, we have to do an audit first. So where are you? What are the gaps in the business and where do you want to go? We also have to look at what resources do you have. A lot of people talk about scaling, but they don't have the resources, the financial resources, the technical resources, or the human resources. You have to have the resources when you want to go to the next level. So scaling is getting bigger. It's going to another level. And I say to people, sometimes you all want to be at level 7 in the phases of business, but you have not even completed level 2.
Preaching, listen, yes.
Right? For every phase of business, there's a starting point and there's an ending point. You have to complete all the tasks, all the steps, and then you transition to the next level.
Right.
So before we talk about scaling, we first have to know, well, where are you? Are you even ready for scaling, or do you need structure?
Right.
So before we scale, which is to get bigger, we have to make sure that our foundation is solid. So scaling is moving to the next level.
Now, we could be here all day because then we could go through so many elements and so many things that we could use. But instead, women who need to connect with you, tell them how they can do it.
Well, they can get in connection with me via my website, Shelly-Acqui.com. That's the easiest way.
Right.
Or they can connect with me on social media. I'm on all the platforms. One name, Shelly-Acqui, simply Shelly TNT. Pay attention to the scammers because they have started to do their little job and they start slipping little numbers and letters in between. So it is simply Shelly TNT. That's it, nothing else. And you'll get in contact with me.
Perfect. We definitely want to be part of that movement, and we are looking forward to a brighter 2026 thanks to these sort of efforts. But we will certainly, or hopefully, have her back to give us even more as we get ready for a bumper new year. Thank you so much for joining us this